What is the smartest species in the world? You might think it's humans by a long shot, but the reality is a lot more complicated. When people have tried to analyze animal cognition, they have tended to focus on a strictly human definition of intelligence and frequently bungled the experiment. But if you compare animal intelligence from decades ago to modern age, you'll see how smarter they have become. Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel. In today's video, we'll be talking about how smart animals are getting. Even though we humans may justifiably be suspected of bias, few doubt that we are the smartest creatures on the planet. Many animals have special cognitive abilities that allow them to excel in their particular habitats, but they do not often solve novel problems. Some, of course, do, and we call them intelligent, but none of them are quick-witted as people are. What favored the evolution of such distinctive brain power in humans, or more precisely, in our hominid ancestors? One approach to answering this question is to examine the factors that might have shaped other creatures that show high intelligence and to see whether the same forces might have operated in our forebears. Several birds and non-human mammals, for instance, are much better problem solvers than others. Elephants, dolphins, parrots, crows. But research into our close relatives, the great apes, is surely likely to be illuminating. Before we move on, make sure to like this video, smash that subscribe button, and click that notification bell right now, because if you don't, animals will just outsmart you. Going back, there are many scientists who study the mental abilities of animals. As intelligent animals ourselves, we're keen to learn whether other species share our skills and how our vaunted smarts evolved. We see study after study about whether chimpanzees care about fairness, whether pigeons outsmart humans at a classic math problem, whether cuttlefish can remember where, what, and when, or whether and how parrots and crows use tools. Chimpanzees, for instance, can easily beat humans at recalling a set of numbers that was displayed for a fraction of a second. Octopuses can learn to open pill bottles protected by child-proof caps, which many humans can't figure out on their own. Dogs and horses, among many species that spend time around humans, are able to recognize body language cues that are lost on us. Many species can do stuff we can't even imagine. Bats that map out space with echolocation, birds that figure out the complex mechanics of flight and landing, and ticks that identify passing mammals by the smell of butyric acid. More and more animals are getting smarter. A house cat, for example. Cat owners the world over will have endless stories of their cats cunning plans for finding food and evading bats. However, a cat's ability to process and apply information works far beyond getting tasty treats and avoiding water. Cats learn by observing and repeating observed behaviors, hence the term copycat. One particular cat named Nora has shown the exceptional ability cats have to turn what they see into action. With her owner spending her days teaching children to play piano, Nora noticed the keen level of attention her owner would give to the notes the children were playing, and not to Nora. Always looking for the spotlight to be on her, Nora applied what she had been observing and perched herself up at the piano. Tapping the keys with her paws, just like the piano students, she was instantly lavished in the attention of her owner and the children. In playing the piano, Nora has been able to observe to pinpoint the exact action that wins attention, and act it out for herself, even replicating the way a piano student sits to the delight of all who watch her. Another one is a rat, a favorite prey of our household cats. Rats are often relegated to the category of pest. However, researchers in Africa have been training rats to detect the smell of tuberculosis in saliva samples. Through a series of training exercises, the rats are taught how to sniff out the different samples and then alert their trainers to which samples contain TB. Rats were chosen for this important process because not only can they detect the different scents needed to identify a sample, they are also highly intelligent and quick to train. Once fully trained, these rats take only 7 minutes to accurately identify a tuberculosis sample, a task that would take a human scientist a full day of testing. Pigs are also one of these examples. From disease stopping to show stopping, Nellie the pig demonstrates how animal intelligence runs deeper than just performing learned tricks. When presented with a series of challenges, including putting different shaped items in a hoop, Nellie uses her creativity to try and solve the problem. While she has been taught to put around objects through a round hoop when asked, when presented with objects that are not round, she appears to compare the shape of the object with a hoop. deciding that the object is the wrong shape and won't fit in the hoop. She chooses not to complete the task, despite her trainer's requests to attempt it. Nellie's ability to compare shapes gives us an insight into how pigs' brains process spatial awareness and can mentally problem-solve different tasks. Migratory birds are capable of navigating complex flight paths over thousands of miles without getting lost. Take as an example the Arctic tern, which enjoys the daylight so much that it flies from the northern to the southern hemisphere and back again every year in search of the maximum possible hours of sunlight. This equates to a distance of about 24,000 miles per year, the approximate equivalent distance of flying around the Earth 15 times. In extreme cases, this distance can be even longer. In Cultural Roots of Intelligence, orangutans suggest that not only do culture, social learning of special skills promote intelligence, it favors the evolution of greater and greater intelligence in a population over time. Different species vary greatly in the mechanisms that enable them to learn from others, but formal experiments confirm the strong impression one gets from observing great apes in the wild. They are capable of learning by watching what others do. Thus, when a wild orangutan or an African great ape for that matter pulls off a cognitively complex behavior, it has acquired the ability through a mix of observational learning and individual practice, much as a human child has garnered his or her skills. And when an orangutan in SUAC has acquired more of these tricks than its less fortunate cousins elsewhere, it has done so because it had greater opportunities for social learning throughout its life. In brief, social learning may bootstrap an animal's intellectual performance onto a higher plane. To appreciate the importance of social inputs to the evolution of even higher intelligence, let us do a thought experiment. Imagine an individual that grows up without any social inputs, yet is provided with all the shelter and nutrition it needs. This situation is equivalent to that in which no contact exists between the generations or in which young fend for themselves after they emerge from the nest. Now imagine that some female in this species invents a useful skill, for instance, how to open a nut to extract its nutritious meat. She will do well and perhaps have more offspring than others in the population. Unless the skill gets transferred to the next generation, however, it will disappear when she dies. Now imagine a situation in which the offspring accompany their mother for a while before they strike out on their own. Most youngsters will learn the new technique from their mother and thus transfer it and its attendant benefits to the next generation. This process would generally take place in species with slow development and long association between at least one parent and offspring, but it would get a strong boost if several individuals form socially tolerant groups. Orangutans epitomize this phenomenon. They are known as the escape artists of the zoo world, cleverly unlocking the doors of their cages. But the available observations from the wild, despite decades of painstaking monitoring by dedicated field workers, have uncovered precious few technological accomplishments outside SUAC. Wild-caught individuals generally never take to being locked up, always retaining their deeply ingrained shyness and suspicion of humans. But zoo-born apes happily consider their keepers valuable role models and pay attention to their activities and to the objects strewn around the enclosures, learning to learn and thus accumulating numerous skills. The critical prediction of the intelligence through culture theory is that the most intelligent animals are also likely to live in populations in which the entire group routinely adopts innovations introduced by members. This prediction is not easily tested. Animals from different lineages vary so much in their senses and in their ways of life that a single yardstick for intellectual performance has traditionally been hard to find. An animal's cognitive intelligence is often judged in the same context that we judge ourselves. Clearly, this is not a fair comparison, as we have evolved in different ways to suit our own environments. So what are your thoughts about animal intelligence? Should we be worried? Let us know in the comment section down below. We hope you enjoyed and learned something from this video. If you did, make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell down below for more upcoming videos like this one. Thanks for watching.